E360 TV proudly presents messages of inspirational stories. Live streaming now to millions of devices, including Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, with your host, Donna Guimwa, producer and host, Jim Grant, producer and host, along with Michaela Vidal, administrator and host, and Gaia Guimwa Balconi Wada, editor-in-chief.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Messages of Inspirational Stories. Jim, it's Tuesday, and I am super excited. We've got a little variety to talk about today.
Yes, ma'am, we do. And I'll tell you right now, it's what we love doing about these shows, folks, is that we share some great information with you. And it's information that's applicable to every single person out there. There's some kind of value you can get out of it, even if you just say, hey, George or Susie, I think you would enjoy this show, because that's what it's all about. That's why we don't do have the guest on and all that, because stories about people, Donna and I, we actually run a parables type of TV show. We teach things that other people have learned and passed down, so we pass it on to you. We're a good conduit like that, huh?
That's right. But before we get into the show, I want to talk about our National Today, because we've got some good ones. We've got some good ones on the calendar today.
All right.
Now, I know it's Go Skateboarding Day. So, Jim, how fast do you go on your skateboard?
Uphill or downhill? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the same speed. Back when I was young, I used to have a scooter. I never had a skateboard, but I did have a little scooter, and I could get that thing going downhill. And actually, I was pretty good, and I only crashed about 29 to 30 times before I got it under control. But oh man, some of those scooters from that day and skateboarding. Right. I really enjoy watching how people can not do the dumb stuff on skateboards, but how they can actually balance themselves. It's a great way of balancing. There's no doubt about that.
Do the tricks and everything they do.
Oh, yeah. And I've always admired, now I know people that do yoga. Today's the International Yoga Day.
Absolutely.
And they get a lot out of that. Have you ever done yoga?
I have. Mm-hmm. I probably don't do it as much as I should. But there's so much good to it. I mean, the stretching and you get centered, but it's really good for a low impact, to stretch your muscles and to get balance and coordination. It's actually super beneficial for you.
It really is. I can see that because I have an inversion board in my house that I use from time to time. And I don't believe in hanging upside down with your feet in the air and your head at 6 o'clock, your feet at 12 o'clock on the analog clocks, because that puts way too much pressure on your brain, especially the little capillaries in your eyes. And if you have high blood pressure, you got to be careful with that. Yep. But what I do, mine has a stop at 40 degrees, which is about like this. Head down here, feet up there. But I got the arms on it where I can just rock back and forth. And what's amazing is how it pulls all of your inners upwards. It really does. And that helps a lot because gravity consistently pulls us down. But what I really notice and like about it stretches out the center of my back without any type of stress on it.
Right, without hurting it.
Right. And when you do stretch, folks, you stretch to relax. That's one thing I've learned over the years. You don't try to, really force yourself or anything like that. I mean, a chiropractor can twist you pretty good. But when you stretch, your focus should be stretching to relax. That's my the way I do it anyway.
Right. So it's also the longest day of the year, summer solstice.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure is. It kind of sneaks up on you because it's been cold and then it starts getting warm. Now it's hot,
It's been hot here for a while, which brings me to ta-da, National Arizona Day. Woohoo!
Yeah. Arizona became a state in 1912, if I remember correctly. Am I right on that, or do you know?
Let me look it up and see. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I want to say April the 12th, 1912. I'm 99% positive it was 1912. I'm not sure about month and date.
All right,
I like to ask
February 14th.
Questions like February 14th.
1912.
Well, at least I got 50% on the test.
Right. It was the 48th state admitted by the United States and the sixth largest state in the United States.
I know it's big. You know what's interesting about, I think it's around 2/3 of the land in Arizona, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Donna, but it seemed like about 2/3 of the land in Arizona is either under federal or state control, like a national park or reservation or something like that.
Yeah. And, it's also very interesting to me because when I moved back here, a lot of my friends are like, oh my gosh, it's just nothing but desert there. And,
little did they know.
Right. I said, well, actually, it is one of the most diverse states in the United States of America because really we have the biggest Ponderosa. Right. And we also have the Saguaro National Forest. So, you can go from low desert to high desert to you can go skiing. And so it's very, very diverse. And then, of course, you've got Sedona, which is known for its therapeutic healing areas and the Red Rocks, which is absolutely gorgeous. But there is so much diversity in Arizona that it just is a little mind-boggling.
It really is. And I served in the Arizona Guard there for about 10 years, lived in the state of Arizona for right about 20. And I flew a lot in a helicopter over Arizona. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, there's no place in Arizona you can stand and not see mountains, usually in all directions. They might be 70 miles away. A lot of people say, you can't see no 70 miles. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
We're called the Valley of the Sun because we actually sit on a dead volcano.
Thank goodness it's dead.
Yeah, right. So it's in a bowl, and then the mountains are all around us. And so when you fly over, you've got all these high mountains around, and then the valley is down here. And it was funny, the last time my oldest daughter, Gaia, flew out here, she'd flown out in the daytime, which was the first time she'd flown out in the daytime. And she said to me, well, now I see why y'all call it the Valley of the Sun.
Yeah.
When you're in it, you don't see it, right? But when you fly over, it's kind of an eye opener because we are literally surrounded by mountains.
Oh, yeah.
And I do mean mountains.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely that. And I remember we were flying from Phoenix to, we were going up north. And we were in helicopters, and I saw one of the helicopter pilots. He had a Vietnam combat patch on his uniform. He saw my combat patch, so automatically we had a connection there. And I said, are we by chance going over Oak Creek Canyon? He said, yes, we are. And I said, wow, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. He says, I'll give you a bird's eye view of that. Oh, so we're flying along in formation. I don't know how high we were, probably about 12,000 foot or something. And he turned around, looked at me, and he pointed up there, and I saw these red and orange streaks on the horizon. And I looked, and I thought, wow, that's really something. And all of a sudden, we dropped down. And I'm telling you, the view was absolutely spectacular, ladies and gentlemen. It was just, I wished I'd have had a cell phone. I'd have been panoramic. That was back in the early, about 1984. And my point being is that it was just breathtaking. It was just something that, it was just a blessing to be a member of the Guard and be able to see that. It didn't cost me something, a free helicopter ride. Then after we went over it, we went, that old Huey just right back up into formation. No one said anything. We all had a good time.
Right back up. Well, Jim, what's this next one? Because I know you're kind of partial to them.
Oh, National Cookie Day.
Yeah, Cookie Dough Day. Yum.
Cookie Dough Day. Yep. You make great cookies, don't you?
I do. I do. Haven't made any in a bit. I kind of don't cook as much and bake as much in the summer because it's so dang hot.
That's okay. We'll in the fall of the year, we'll all make plans to go over to Donna's house, and she'll
bake up a storm.
She'll show us how she can shake a stove and just create miracles right there.
Shake, rattle, and roll, baby. Well, it's also National Peaches and Cream Day.
Ooh.
That's a favorite of mine.
And for all you folks that take selfies, today is National Selfie Day. That's really something. When I was in the hospital, after I came out of surgery, I'm in ICU from open heart surgery and all, and I'm fine, and it went well. But my point was, I didn't know it, but my wife took a picture of me laying in the bed. And of course, I still got the tube hanging out my mouth, and my eyes are closed, and I'm still, orbit around Jupiter. And I sent it to a few of my buddies. Now I put down a PS note. This is not a selfie. You got to have a little humor once in a while.
Right.
But the day is National Selfie Day. And I just don't take selfies. I know a lot of people do. Hey, how about this one here? It may be a little hot during the day, but there are going to be times that you can have National Yard Game Days and have that with your family, your friends. Oh, goodness gracious. Donna,
I used to play a lot of yard games with my kids.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I used to play croquet, and I used to love to take my foot against that other person's ball and knock it a country mile, but
right.
But, when thinking about that, what flashed in my mind, you remember when we did the 2 Truths and 1 Lie on this TV show?
Yes, that was so much fun.
Yeah. And I remember one of the truths was that you got wrong. You thought it was a lie. Was when I said I was AWOL in the Army. I was, and I came back in Vietnam. And then somebody asked me, said, what were the 2 lies? And I go like, I don't remember. They were lies. It was just something I made up.
I don't remember. Oh, I know what one of mine was. That was a lie. Was that I was a prom queen.
Yeah. And see, you being a model, that was the one that I said you were probably a prom queen. And nope, and that was the one that I picked. But having fun like that. Oh my goodness gracious. And here recently, I got talking to Elf, and we were talking about Lisa, who went out on this is about dinner. We're getting just a little bit off subject, but I won't charge anybody extra for that. Imagine going to a place where you have dinner and a murder mystery that you solve.
Those are so much fun.
Oh, and so you can do those inside the house when it's hot, and do those with your kids or friends or whatever. And oh gosh, they are fun, aren't they?
Yeah, they are a ball. They are a ball.
I recommended to a lady friend of mine. She has a little cafe down in Florida, and I said, you ought to, just maybe rent a room like at a conference room there, because in her restaurant she didn't have an area she could dedicate to that.
Right.
And send out invites, and just send out a free invite to a person from the newspaper for them to write up on it, and have the meals, 2 or 3 different plates or dinner dishes they can pick from, have it paid in advance, and then do a murder mystery like that. That would be fun. That
would be a ball.
It really would.
Yeah, those are fun.
And also today, oh goodness gracious, today is the World Day of Music. Boy, don't we love music.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how a song can just take you back to that
or
time.
Lift your spirits, or
Yeah, it really is. And also, moving on up in the world, today is World Giraffe Day.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the tallest animal in the world, I think, aren't they?
Now, yes. Now, let me ask you something. Why are their tongues black?
Why are their tongues black?
Correct.
I guess God made them black. I don't know.
Because they are so tall, and when they reach up in the trees to eat, their tongue is out in the sun, so it doesn't get sunburned.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah. I'll think about that about 2 o'clock in the morning when I wake up.
And he'll be like, dang it, Donna.
Oh, my goodness gracious. We got some great inspiring stories for you today. And one of the things that I would like to start with, if I may, one of the biggest things that keeps people from living their dream, they got a story in their minds as well, I don't have any money. Mm-hmm. And if you go to a bank, you're going to fill out a form and you know exactly what they're going to ask you. What's your collateral?
Oh, yeah.
That's the way banks turn. And nothing against the loan officers or the president or the manager of the bank or anything like that.
It's just the way it is.
They're handcuffed. They have a policy they have to follow. But you can still use other people's money, known as OPM. And I learned something here a while back, and I'd never heard it before. In fact, our director of marketing, Mr. Emerson Brantley, told me, he says, Jim, listen up, folks. There is more money than they are deals. And the reason why is because the people who have money, who are inspired to invest in certain deals, they never see those deals. So therefore, as an inspiration, if you got a great idea and you're struggling, you don't have any money, just get the word out.
Right.
And Donna and I, we've talked about this. The best way to approach someone is just ask them, let me ask your opinion on this. This is what I have. This is what I want to do. And if you were in my shoes, what kind of advice can you give me? What kind of feedback?
Right. And make sure it's somebody that you really value.
Yes.
That's important. Don't go to just anybody. Make sure it's somebody that you can value. Mm-hmm. And that you value and that you trust. Because the worst thing in the world, and this has happened, we all know it, somebody hears something and they're like, oh, okay. And they take it and it's like, look what I did. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't their idea at all.
Oh, yeah. And when you're looking for financial advice, don't go to people who is maxed out on their credit card, struggling to buy the groceries and pay the rent. That's not a good source. No matter what kind of rapport you have with them. And in this particular story here, I want to share with you, this guy, Alexander Dumas, in his younger days, the younger in his play, the question of money, his business is, it is quite simple. It's other people's money, because that's true in all principles. When you're in business, you're going to stay in business by providing a quality product or service to people. And Benjamin Franklin, he didn't have a lot of wealth, believe it or not, when he first got started.
Right.
But he used other people's money, as did William Nickerson, Conrad Hilton. We spoke about, I think it was yesterday on the show.
Yesterday we did.
Henry J. Kaiser. Colonel Sanders did it. He was 66 when he got out on the road selling his herbs and spices. Ray Kroc did it, the founder of McDonald's. But also, Walt Disney was a gentleman who used OPM. And how did they get by? That's the question. The main thing that they were able to deliver in their presentation was their honesty, their integrity, and their sincerity. That vibrates from you to the person that you're talking to the potential person that might want to take a chance on you.
Right.
And always watch your body language. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very important. I don't know why politicians, everybody, one of the most common things, you'll see me touch my nose a lot on TV, and that's because it just itches from time to time. But when it comes to body language, if someone's talking about something and they touch their nose, watch politicians. You would think that they would put their hands in their pockets, because they're always, talking about something they may not know a lot about. Because if there's any doubt or something like that, or if they're blatantly lying, they'll subconsciously touch their nose.
Right.
It's amazing. And when you're talking to someone, don't lean back. Lean forward to them. It demonstrates that you're very, very sincere, that
And
you
it
know
pulls
what.
them in.
Mhm. And mirror and match. That's very important. If someone leans back a little bit, you lean back a little bit. Show them you're relaxed. If they tilt their head this way, you do it. If they tilt their head that way, you do it. Just kind of mirror and match them. Just like if their head's like this, you want to turn your head like this with them a little bit. Keep that eye contact. And I learned something when I was an instructor, because sometimes I needed to take a break after I was teaching a class and the student wanted to talk to me.
Right.
And stare at their ear. And if they move, they'll move a little bit, just follow their ear. And it will, that's a way you can get away from someone that you want to, shall I say, you need to take a break from. Let me put it like that. And that's how effective body language is. That's my point. Right. It really is. And Donna, you had some people you wanted to share with today, didn't you?
I did.
You did or you do?
Really, Tim?
That's okay. Okay.
So
go ahead.
I just thought that this was truly, truly amazing.
And special.
This was a man, his name was Wang Han, a former millionaire in China, who went into debt to rescue hundreds of dogs. So, I think most of us are aware that there is a huge meat trade in dogs in China. And it started in 2012. He was 29 when his dog went missing. And after ages of searching, he was allowed to try his luck at finding his dog in the slaughterhouse. He didn't find his own dog, unfortunately, but the rather deplorable conditions and unspeakable acts of cruelty he saw. He made a vow to save as many dogs as he could, creating a shelter for them in an abandoned steel factory. Wang Han might not be able to save every dog, but he's making an enormous difference in the lives of those he is able to shelter and is willing to go to great lengths to do so. Care and compassion for others extends beyond just human-to-human relations. To do so much for animals is a remarkable feat of kindness.
It really is, Donna. And as you're talking about that story, think about, the dogs know that they were in a very bad place. Think about the love that we've all seen stories of dogs when they're in a kennel or someplace or in a animal shelter, and they know they're going to get adopted by these people. And hey, all of a sudden they get excited because they already got, the dog's got that connection with them. And you're going to take me home and get me out of here? Oh my goodness gracious.
You're going to break me free.
Yeah. They have a tremendous, tremendous love for their new family.
And the fact that dogs will sense, dogs sense your emotions. They pick up on it so quickly. And so they sense when you're going in and trying to help them. And that's a huge thing, and to help an animal, to me, that's like that is just, I can't tell you how many animals that I've adopted, if you will. All of my kittens were people who were just one gal, the human mom early on, a bullet. These old kittens were found in a storm drain by her apartment building. No mom around. So she hand reared them. So I got Bullet when, I kid you not, he was about this big. And then the three sisters, I got them from a gal out in Phoenix who, this cat every year or every time she got pregnant would come and have babies in her shed. And she was about as feral as they come. And she reached in and was able to grab all those babies. And we got them here. And it'd been another week or two. They would have been so feral and so scared of humans. It would have been a lot harder to, integrate them into our household.
Oh, yeah. And, Donna, it's really amazing how people go the extra mile. And there is one lady here that I just got to tip my hat to. This goes to show you how a person with heart can help others in their hour of need. This lady's name is Holly Christensen. She's a former cancer nurse who practices, or doesn't practice, she makes princess wigs out of yarn for sick kids. Because when kids go in for chemo and stuff like that, they lose all of their hair. And it's very traumatizing for people of all ages. And she decided she would make these little yarn hats of looks like hair. And I'm seeing a couple of pictures here. She's got this one red yarn hat with a bow with a starfish on the side. And it's got this long trail, just like a lot of hair. And the kids love it. And it brightens up their day. And this is a little thing that she decided she was going to do to give back to others. So you can easily see by some of these stories we share, we might be resonating an idea in your mind. You could say, hey, I could do that. In fact, she's a mother of 3 and former oncology nurse, and she aims to help make things a little bit easier. With the help of a partner, Bree Hitchcock, and money raised through GoFundMe page, the Magic Yarn Project was created, helping kids all over the world feel beautiful, especially little girls. My goodness
Isn't that
gracious.
Beautiful?
It really, truly is.
That is so beautiful, because when our babies are so young like that and they unfortunately have cancer, it's hard enough for them to understand. They know they're sick, but it's hard enough for them to understand what it is they're sick with.
Yeah.
And then to lose their hair.
And not look like other kids.
Right. That's devastating for them.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And see, here's a clear case where this lady's a nurse. She's not a business person, but she went to an individual who was evidently, he's either got money or something. She says, with the help of her partner, Bree Hitchcock, excuse me. I got to clean off my glasses here. But they were able to raise money through GoFundMe. Now, GoFundMe is a great place for you to share your idea with total strangers. And, have people who are good on social media share it. Share your idea that you have, your dream, whatever it might be, to groups on social media that's already interested in that. That way you don't have to, as the old saying goes, preach the gospel to an atheist.
Right.
You're talking language to someone that's already there. And
right. You're talking the same language.
Yes. Yes, you are. And that can really, ignite someone to get inspired to work with you on your project. That is why you never, ever, ever, as in never, never, ever, go out and go into business just to make money. Right. We hear people pitch that all the time. And my advice to you is that I would find someone else that's more cause-oriented than money-oriented. Because money is, when you're after money, you're only serving yourself. That's a dead-end street. It really is.
Right.
I know a lot of people might hear that and go, wow, is Jim serious? Yes, I am.
Right. It's true. We need money to live. We need money to pay our bills and money to survive. But when you can help other people, that's where the blessing comes in. That's where the blessing comes in. This next story, Jim, just really touches my heart. I have, I'm a pretty soft-hearted person on the whole, wear my heart on my sleeve. But this young gentleman, and I'm looking at the picture, and I'm going to say he's maybe in his late 20s, early 30s at best. His name is Josh Seigenek, if I spelled that or said that right. He was working across the street from 75-year-old Leonard Bullock, whose home, from his home, when he overheard some teenagers making fun of the condition of the house. Well, Josh could tell that the comments really bothered the elderly man. So he rallied up some volunteers and fixed the place up. With supplies donated from Tumalum Lumber, volunteers were able to fix up the porch and give the home a fresh coat of paint, truly breathing life into the place.
Bullock
and his wife were said to be absolutely ecstatic over the change. According, quote unquote, according to the media, I'm a hero. I'm not a hero. I just heard something that bothered me. Josh said, anyone would have done the same thing. Everyone has it in their heart to do things like this.
Yeah. Let's talk about marketing here for a moment, using that story. Tumalum, was that the lumber company? Tumalum?
Tumalum.
Okay. That's TUM-A-LUM, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
But anyway, by them donating the lumber, you can get in touch with the newspaper, radio, give them free advertising of doing good deeds in the neighborhood. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you were the editor of a newspaper or if you were at a radio station, whatever, what are you always searching for? Good stories.
Hometown good stories.
Oh, yeah. This is a slam dunk. This is a slam dunk, because then you can have people pitching in and, getting, recognition, especially businesses, because you get free advertising.
Right.
And plus, think about how their clientele, people in that town, would feel about wanting to shop there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to shop where people help people.
Yes.
And if they're consistently rude or nasty, then I'm sorry, I will take my business, my money, my time, and put it into somebody else local.
Yeah. There's been studies done where people will pay a little more, even in these tough times with the economy in the United States, compliments of our leadership. But anyway, there's been proven studies that average people who know that this particular establishment is doing something for the community, oh, goodness gracious, they will go there and spend a little bit more, because that's their way of saying, I support you because you're supporting the community. And that is tremendous. You can use that same principle, because one of the things that's really concerned a lot of people all over the world in your community, and that is, let's call them what they are, hoodlums, people that's a threat to you, your neighbor, your family, everybody. And you could do the very same thing by getting businesses organized to be able to create programs and provide funds so that the local law enforcement can be able to have citizens on patrol, to be able to help that program if they don't have
the
a
neighborhood
program.
Watch program.
That too. And just be able to, we're going to take charge of our neighborhood. You may be a hoodlum, but you're not welcome here.
Right.
Because no one, I don't know of anybody would invite a thief over to their house.
Right.
if you made that mistake once, I don't care how slow you are in between the ears, you won't make it twice. But those are just
those are the gifts. I'm sorry, but those are the gifts that just keep going.
Yeah.
That one act of kindness, because he wanted to help somebody, and he got his friends. So it didn't just impact the gentleman and his wife. It impacted the lumber company and all of his friends who jumped in to help him.
Oh, yeah. Think of the joy and the jubilee they had in their heart of
what
being
a
able
ripple
to
effect.
participate. Yeah. Yeah. Because the people you want to be associated with are the people who want to love and help others.
Right.
And I tell you right now, it's just amazing how people can do that. And if you don't give them the opportunity, what you've done is that you've cheated them out of one of the gifts that you got. Because if you got the idea, you got the gift, make it happen.
Yep.
Because your cause in life should always be bigger than you. And that's what will make you successful, no matter what pathway of life you're going down. That's what will make you successful. And success is not necessarily in money, but it's in a lifestyle of respect, honor. And the way people will know that you are a person that cares and you love others. What a great legacy to leave behind, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Jim, we talked a little bit earlier about not letting not letting your circumstances keep you down.
Amen.
Right? So I want to talk a moment about a lady by the name of Liz Murray.
Okay.
This is a powerful story. She became homeless at the age of 15, and it was just after her mother died of HIV, and her father moved into a homeless shelter. In a painful situation, most people would only be able to see what was right in front of them, their circumstances. But Liz would seek a better reality for herself despite intense limitations. So she attended a local high school and graduated in 2 years. She was then awarded a New York Times scholarship for needy students and was accepted into Harvard University, eventually earning her doctorate in clinical psychology. She has written, since then, she's written a New York Times bestseller memoir, Breaking Night, a memoir of forgiveness, survival, and my journey from homeless to Harvard. And it was also a made-for-TV movie. She didn't let her circumstances dictate her life or her future. She chose her destiny and she manifested it despite the obstacles that were in front of her. Now, that's a powerful story.
It really is. It truly, truly is. And, you know, Donna, I'm reading here about this Dutch man, Tommy. I guess you pronounce that Klein. I'm not sure. Kleyn. He just got tired of seeing trash on the waterfront by going to and from work. So he decided he was going to do something about it. So he just started out as a one-man person, just picking up trash that he passed every day on his way to work. And so he decided just going to start picking up and put in bags. And he filled up bag after bag after bag, and trash bags were gathered over time, and then volunteers started coming out. This is one of the nice things about human nature. If they see a person doing the right thing for a right cause, it will inspire others to follow.
They'll jump in.
Yeah. So be that leader in your community, whatever it might be, and whatever comes to your mind. Just step out. Have the courage to step out and try. And it's amazing how, you know, every day he'd fill up, and like 22 bags in total, you know, in a day. And thanks to his efforts, a rare bird was able to nest in the bank, which hasn't happened in years. And people would tell Klein that there should be more people like him. So what's stopping you? Because find a way to make a difference. And that is so important. And I'm going to let you share that next story about the little girl's birthday party. Ladies and gentlemen, this will touch your heart.
Well, I have to get on the right page, Jim.
Well, I'm always on the right page, and sometimes in the wrong paragraph. You want me to go ahead and do it?
Yeah, I can't find it right now.
Okay. This is a story about 300 people who attended one little girl's birthday party. This little girl, her name is Mackenzie Moretta. She has Sotos syndrome, SOTOS syndrome. It's a rare genetic disorder that causes brain damage. It's leading to development delays and difficulty with socializing. Her mother made a plea on Facebook after every single person declined her invite to attend this little girl's birthday party. So she sent out a plea, and it went viral. And this led to 300 people showing up for a birthday extravaganza for this little girl. And it was catered by a local barbecue joint with frozen theme cake for dessert. And Mackenzie had the time of her life thanks to 300 strangers. Now, here again, think about this. Think about that barbecue company who had a great story that could get free advertising for doing something good. This is a win-win-win situation. I hope we're giving you some nuggets out there you can bite into and say, hey, I can do this. Because that didn't take much money, it didn't take any money really, it just took time. It just took time and effort and commitment. And it's just amazing how people find ways to give that have a giving heart. And they find the calling that touches them. Yeah. Yeah. And then when it happens, it inspires others because let's face it, let's be honest about us. We're followers.
Right.
We really are. I mean, we like to think, yeah, we walk to the beat of our own drum we're this. No, we're not. We're followers. We're copycatters. I mean, look at cars today. All the cars look alike. The only difference is a sticker on them. And sometimes you got to read the sticker whether to determine what it is. There's not going to be any classics there, I don't think.
I have this next story, Jim, that I'd like to share because, Jim and I, as most of you know who've watched us, are huge animal lovers.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm on Facebook and I see stories of people banning their dog, okay, I got tears in my eyes right now. I not only cry, but I get really mad, right? How can you do that to an animal? You just move away and you let the dog run after you. All the cruelty, I just don't understand it.
It's
but
rude.
This one, it's horrible. But this one, it was really amazing. So, Jim, you remember the NBA superstar, if I say his first name right, Yao Ming?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, big, tall boy. He was was he from China?
China. So he turned into an animal conservation activist. And this is the most touching story. So shark fin soup is considered a delicacy in China. And it is a status symbol of sorts of, I'm wealthy and I can afford this. 1 in 4 shark species is now endangered. The Chinese people didn't even know that sharks were dying for the soup because the Mandarin translation for shark fin soup is fish wing soup. Yao Ming used his celebrity status to educate the masses on the cruelty of the shark fin soup practices. And now an astounding 91% support a nationwide ban of shark fin consumption. Yao Ming is also working to end the poaching of elephants and rhinos for their tusks and horns. His efforts are saving lives.
And folks, I see a picture of Yao Ming with this little elephant.
A little baby elephant.
This thing comes up to his knees.
If that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to been way over,
I'm trying to remember how tall he was, but I'm thinking he was one of the taller ones in the NBA.
Yeah.
I want to say he was tall, like 7'5", 7'6", something like that, 7'7". He was unconscious.
Let's see here. I'll tell you in just a moment. He, how tall was he? He's 41 now, 7 foot 6 inches tall, and he weighed roughly about 310 pounds. Holy smokes! At 5'10", I know now why I never was asked to join the basketball team.
Oh my goodness!
Plus, I couldn't hit. I could actually hit the hoop, but I mean, with someone that's 7'6" in front of you, you're 5'10", that's not going to happen.
Right. Right.
Not unless you got a rocket launcher,
Absolutely.
But it's really amazing how someone who played in the NBA, made a lot of money, went back to his home and says, hey, give back.
Right.
I love athletes that give back, who say, I was blessed, because there's a lot of athletes who came from the post side of town.
Oh,
they didn't have much money. Some of them didn't have, good, strong dads in their life. Let's be honest.
Right.
But yet they give back the way to boys clubs, big brother clubs. They find a way to give back to help younger kids.
Yes.
Live their dreams and say, hey, this may be where you are right now, but this is not where you're going to be. And that's true with all of us. Where we are right now at this point in time is the perfect place for us. Even if you're going through tragedy, if you've lost a loved one, if you've got a horrible disease like cancer or something of this nature, this is the perfect place for you, because you can give thanks for everything that you've had in your life, and this is not the end of the road for you necessarily. The main thing is your attitude to give thanks and look for ways to give back. And that will create tremendous blessings for you. And only the universe knows the answer, how far those blessings will go and how much you will be blessed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sure a lot better than sitting around and feeling sorry for yourself.
So speaking of that, it's a perfect segue. Couldn't have asked you to do that better. This
Okay.
next story is about a young lady named Jessica Cox. And talk
Okay.
about not feeling sorry for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
She was born without arms. She
Wow.
used her legs and her unbelievable spirit of awesomeness to become, are you ready for this? The first licensed armless pilot. She's also the first armless black belt in the American Taekwondo Association.
Wow.
Refusing to use prosthetic arms, Jessica drives a car, types on a keyboard, pumps her own gas, and puts in contact lenses. She also scuba dives. She has a psychology degree from U of A. She inspires people across 20 countries by sharing her message of inspiration on stages. Jessica.
Holy smoke.
Wow.
I mean, goodness gracious.
Right? She's done more without her arms than most of us have in a lifetime.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? That reminds me of that guy, Nick. I can't pronounce his last name. It's Vujicic. You've seen him on stage.
Yes.
He doesn't have arms or legs. He's just,
I think it's Vucic.
It could be.
Something like that.
And he was born with some type of tetra-amelia syndrome, a rare disorder characterized by the absence of all four limbs. His videos are on YouTube. The guy is a superstar. He's inspired millions and millions of people with his message to love life and live it without limits. Oh my goodness. You know, he was tormented to such an extent that at the age of 10, he attempted suicide. But after years of feeling alone and worthless, he had an epiphany one day while reading an article. See, that's the power of tuning in and not tuning out. The energy came to him and says, hey, you have a higher calling here.
Right.
Your life is not over. And he read about a disabled man who refused to let physical limitations dictate his life. At that moment, Nick says he realized he had the ability to take control of his life. Instead of looking at everything he lacked, he decided to look at everything he had and could have. He's now a famous author, an international speaker. He inspires the world every day to live a life without limits. His message is so electrifying, so motivating. He is an individual that, you know, he could really touch millions. He has touched millions of people. But think of all the young kids who don't think that they can make the track team because they're not fast enough.
Right.
Or they can't do this because they're not good enough. So what? That means they're good enough and better enough to do something else that fits them.
Right.
And don't put yourself inside of a fence or inside of a box, as I like to say, because that just,
limits you.
It destroys all of your energy is what it does. It really does. And my goodness gracious, this show's already we're 3/4 over and we ain't even got started yet, Donna.
Right.
Yeah, I tell you.
It's these stories really make me very proud. Mm-hmm. This next story is about Victor Espinoza,
the
Triple Crown champion who donated his winnings to cancer research. Mm-hmm. Wow. So Victor Espinoza was the American Pariah's jockey, the horse that won the Triple Crown in 2015. Mm-hmm. For years, Espinoza has donated a portion of his winnings to City of Hope, a cancer, diabetes, and HIV/AIDS research facility. But this time, he gave it all. Espinoza visits the facility often, swapping stories and checking in on the patients there.
That's an incredible story because here's a young guy who, you know, he's won the Triple Crown. He could do anything he wanted. He could, you know, he could serve himself all he wanted to, but yet he says, I'm going to use my winnings
to serve others.
To serve others, people that cannot. I've been blessed. I was put in the right place at the right time with the right physical talents, the right mental talents, and I had the right horse that I could win the Triple Crown with. Oh my goodness gracious.
Right.
And then just to say, I'm going to give it all away, give a portion of it, this winnings of City of Hope. Oh my goodness gracious.
That is huge, because there's a lot of people who would give part of it.
Yeah.
Right. But to give it all, because it's not a small chunk of change that he won.
No. I think he made more than $150 on that race.
Well, I'm thinking it was even more than 500.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I should learn to ride a horse. Yeah.
Right.
No, but really, think about how much energy that created to him. So the next time he has an idea, he can share his idea with others and they can go, hey, we're going to buy in on this.
Right.
And that's what you want to do. You want to share your dreams and you want to share your
passion.
Goals. Yeah.
Your passion.
Yeah. With people that that are already like-minded. And again, the best way to do it is just say, I'd like for your opinion. Give me some feedback on this. This is where I'm at. This is what I've got. This is what I want to do. Get feedback from them. That way they will know whether or not it's a good fit for them, and you don't put them on the spot with a sales pitch.
Right.
Because if it's their calling to join you, sales pitches are irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. And that's something we've learned and we've demonstrated, and that's the way we operate, period.
Very much is. It very much is.
Mm-hmm.
I think for us to operate any other way we
wouldn't be us.
No, and we wouldn't even know how to talk by operating in a different way because it's so foreign to us. It would be so foreign to us.
I'd be speaking a different language like this. And audience would say, what's he saying? I don't know. Is the volume off? No, I can't read lips, so let's just change channels.
Right.
No, but realistically, it's got to be who you are. It's got to resonate, vibrate, and just come out. Let the energy flow.
Right.
And if they say, no, thank you so much. And if you have a good idea, please let me know if something comes to you later. I'd love to hear it. Let the person down in a nice way. Mm-hmm. And that's the way. That's what successful people do. You've always heard the saying that you don't burn bridges. Well, you can burn a bridge if you approach somebody the wrong way. And I don't know anybody like sales pitches. Do you?
No, sometimes, people say don't burn a bridge. You might have to go back over it. And oftentimes that's true. But there are some bridges, I believe, that it's okay to light the match and let her burn.
Stick of dynamite.
Get the job done.
And that comes from a trusted source by the name of Donna Guinois. And you can actually contact Donna on her personal email at highenergyrightnow@gmail.com, because Donna is really big about getting things out of your life that is got you shackled and like a rope around your neck, because Donna says, whatever is blocking your energy, you need to get rid of it. It's not your friend. I mean, when I say it's not your friend, I mean that blockage is not doing you any good.
Right.
It could either be a person, a place, or a thing. And Donna will be more than happy to give you a 30-minute consultation call to help you find out what's blocking you. And just share with Donna, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm going through. And I'm looking for a door, because when people are trapped, they're looking for a door, aren't they, Donna?
They are. And, the thing is that when we're stuck in that place, we can't see the forest for the trees.
Amen.
Right? We just can't see the difference.
Yeah.
I was talking to my best friend in the world last night about some stuff. And she's like, okay, Donna, I like this. Thank you. I'm going to call you again in a few days for more inspiration for me. And I'm like, okay, because what she's doing right now in her life is something I've done. Mm-hmm. And so, I can help her and bless her by giving her the information that I learned the hard way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. As you were talking, it reminded me of the story, a true story where there was this truck going through a tunnel, a tractor trailer truck is going through a tunnel. This is back in the 50s, and it got stuck because the tunnel was not as high as what the truck should be.
Right.
And they had all these engineers there. And then this little kid, he was there, I guess, with his dad or whatever.
I love this
And the
one.
little kids, kept telling him, I know how to do this. And, get back, son. You're just a kid. You don't know nothing.
Right.
We're real men here. We're educated.
We're engineers, and
we're proud of it. We're going to demonstrate our ignorance, and we're proud of it. And finally, the little kid says, why don't you guys just let the air out of the tires?
Right.
And they did. Of course, that gave just enough clearance to get the truck through.
From
and
the
here they
mouths
were
of
trying to,
babes.
and then they were trying to, I don't know what they were thinking. Were they thinking about putting Vaseline on the tunnel or something? I don't know.
Right. That's going to move it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Put
my
X-Lax in the tank there and crank it up.
Right.
But, it's just amazing how sometimes the simplest answer comes from the most innocent source.
Mm-hmm.
And kids sometimes can surprise you. Donna and I were surprised on the International Youth Summit. They're not kids, but they're young people by some of the questions
adults.
they asked us as we're advisors there. They're like, whoa, the lights are on and these young folks are home. And it's refreshing. It really is.
It was refreshing. It was beautiful.
Oh, goodness.
Well, Jim,
We're going to run into
out of
somebody
time.
else's. I know it. We've had a wonderful time. We're going to be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Please share these inspiring stories with others. And most importantly, if something triggers something in your mind, get it up, get it in gear, and get into action. And ask for help, because there's people out there that love to help you. And just share that with others. And some of the advice we gave you, I don't have time to repeat it all, but just think about it. If you wake up in the morning and it feels good in your gut and it seemed like a good idea, act on it.
Absolutely.
You got nothing to lose. If you don't ask them, you can't get a no.
Right.
And if there's nothing to lose by, asking, by all means ask. You might get a yes.
Exactly.
Well, folks, we'll see you tomorrow. We like to close every show by saying, be sure and love yourself first, then you can love others. Most importantly, as Donna likes to say, give yourself
grace.
Amen. And forgive yourself. And importantly, you're entitled to enjoy life, love life, and enjoy the abundance of life. And don't let anyone tell you any different. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening or morning or whenever you see this show, whether it's live or on video. Thank you again. We'll see you. Bye-bye.